been thinking a lot about something that happens when you start out as a YouTuber. Like when you first make a YouTube video, it's terrifying, right? It's like walking out onto stage to perform your first show, like a musician or a comedian. It's like going out to do your first set ever. Terrifying. You don't know who's gonna show up. You don't know if anyone's gonna show up. You don't know if they're gonna like you at all. They actually might just hate you. You're going out there with the subtext is like, I think this is great. I think people should look at me. I think people should look at this. Like, it's not cool. It's mortifying. It's mortifying. But I think there's also something really important there that people connect with when they watch like an early YouTuber. And I think that thing is fear. I think that's like a really important ingredient that is maybe taken for granted or overlooked. But first of all, I came out here to have a picnic and I forgot my freaking picnic blanket. So I'm kind of pissed. I think the thing that people connect with a lot is actually the fear involved there. The human connection, the connection to someone who's like flawed and scared and unsteady a little bit, I think is really connecting. And then you fast forward to the state where I just put out my 101th YouTube video. And when I step out in front of a camera now, I'm stepping out to my 101th show. Like a musician or a comedian or whatever, going out to their 100th show. And they know the people in the audience are people who decided intentionally to be there, to see them, mostly like what they do, people who are hyping you. So like that's the energy that I feel like a long-term YouTuber steps out with. They're stepping out with the energy of like, I'm at my 100th show or my 1,000th or like 5,000th show with an audience full of people who love me. And that's when you get that YouTuber energy of like, hey guys, and like this, and like it's not quite human anymore, and I'm laughing at my own jokes. And it's really easy, like I hate that energy. I think it's really easy to criticize that energy. And it's also really easy to have that energy. You know, it is a performance. Like this is me, but I'm talking to a camera. Anytime I'm talking to a camera, you can't tell me that's not a performance. If I whip out my phone to record a friend, they instantly go into a little bit of a performance. It's still them, but it's a performance. And obviously, like, it feels nice to not be terrified every time I step out to do my job now. It feels nice to have, like, I have confidence in my job. But I think it's also lost something, both, like, for viewers and for me. For the viewers, like, they don't get to see that human fear and that self-doubt. So maybe they don't see that anymore. And you kind of lose that. I feel like I've lost that with people I've watched for a long time who are, like, great YouTubers and veterans, but they've lost the ingredient of fear. And it's kind of like crappy to say that as a viewer, I like to see that, but I do, I connect with it. And I think my viewers probably like to connect with it. So I've been thinking about that a lot recently and like, how do you bring fear back into your life? Which sounds messed up, but I also think there's a benefit to me and to anyone, I think to anyone trying to do something creative. The importance of fear, I think for everybody. I think any creative work needs to involve some fear, some unknown. If you're in a place where you can predict exactly how something you make is going to be received, then you're not doing anything new. You're not trying things. I think fear is really important for everyone. A little bit of fear, the right amount of fear, because that's what like kind of makes you feel alive. I think about the archetype of like the office cubicle worker who reaches middle age and has their midlife crisis, where every day is predictable. They know they're going to go to work, they're going to do their work, they're going to come home, they're going to go to the gym, they're going to see their kids. There's something so soul-killing about everything being too predictable. The very like stability and comfort and predictability that I've worked really hard to achieve can also kind of kill your soul a little bit. I listened to this interview with Tony Robbins recently. I don't know what your opinion is on Tony Robbins, but he did have one quote that really hit, and he said, "The path of least resistance never makes you happy." The path of least resistance never makes you happy, and I can't stop thinking about that. Tony Robbins went on to say, you know, the times we're happiest are, sure, maybe when you get the big promotion or win the trophy. There is happiness there, there is joy there, but for a limited amount of time. When you get a promotion, there's a high for a few hours, a few days, maybe a few weeks, but it's not a year. That fades. And the thing that brings more sustained, richer fulfillment is actually making progress to that goal. Not just getting the goal, but making progress to a goal. Something that's hard, something that pushes you, something that stretches. I'm a really big fan of doing the scary thing, like following the scary thing. I think that's when I feel most alive. It doesn't have to be in everything. I don't think you have to do the scary thing all the time everywhere. You know, have a little bit of chill. But I'm trying to think about like, what are the scary things I'm avoiding? What are the paths of least resistance I keep choosing over and over? I gotta figure out what scares me, dog.
Have I done my best here, or will I be here next year, or are these my best years yet?
By the way, this is Pique tea. I heard about this from my favorite vlogger, which I don't think she watches this channel, but eventually I'm gonna get her to discover me. 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 is my favorite vlogger, and she did a sponsorship for Pique tea, and I trust all of her endorsements. So I started drinking it, and now they're sponsoring this video. So good for me. I think it's actually kind of hard to sell products to me. I'm just a cynical bad boy. I don't really trust a lot of things. So for me to try any product, it has to be like simple, clear-cut science. I was raised in a family of medical people, so I think I'm very skeptical about anything that makes weird claims, but this keeps me hydrated. It's great for your skin. It tastes good. This is my little Pique tea pouch, and I keep little packets in here. I'm drinking the BT fountain, which is really good for hydration. It has electrolytes and it just like keeps you hydrated. And then the Sun Goddess matcha is my other favorite. Those two teas are part of Pique's. They have a, what do they have? They have a bundle. I think it's called like the Radiant Skin Duo. But I drink the BT fountain every morning because I'm always dehydrated. Literally the other day I woke up with a hangover. I hadn't drunk the night before, but I woke up with a hangover because I was so dehydrated. Especially around my period. It's because I'm on my period now. I get so dehydrated. I know I need extra water. I'm also always trying to work on like my skin radiance. So starting with like an electrolyte drink in the morning is really nice, plus it also actually tastes good. And it's just like pretty. The pre-measured packets are nice too, because I don't know, it's easy. I can like take them with me. Anyway, I'm very happy that they're sponsoring this video. If you want to try it out, you should really click the link in the description of this video. piquelife.com/carolinewinkler. You get 15% off, plus you'll get little free gifts of this little measuring glass, which I love. Also, this little frother. Extra helpful for the matcha. This keeps me hydrated. It's great for your skin. It's great for my attitude. It's nice to have a little ritual, like to start every day in the morning. I know that's what I'm starting with. I think it's nice. Phone buzzes every now and then, like a carpenter bee thumping senselessly against a window. I look at the screen the first couple of times, but it's just the library letting me know my holds are available. She'll never give up because she's like me, willing to break every rule and cross every line to get what she needs.
Okay, we get it. Stop points. That is something that like I think like starts to get annoying is like when the character
like
keeps defining themselves.
I completely agree.
We're 60% in. We know what she is.
Exactly.
I think it's falling apart a little
This
bit
is the thing with, I know, that's why we can't get through it.
Yeah.
This is the thing with fantasy is that like the saving grace is always something, it's just like a feeling you have to have, or like it's always so arbitrary.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in the ones that aren't as good.
Well, even like Harry Potter, a lot of it is.
Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera right now.
A lot of it's arbitrary. It's like he survived because of his mother's love. That's not like a spell or a rule or like.
Well, but all of life is arbitrary. Why does gravity exist? You know, scientific like understanding of why gravity.
I know, but then there's still like, okay, so gravity does exist, and then there's like rules around and math around.
So Harry Potter, like if you die for your son, if you sacrifice yourself, he lives.
Not always though.
Yes.
No parents sacrifice themselves.
They were tortured in their insanity. And they also didn't do it in front of devil.
That's true.
They were ours who got caught.
Wow.
No, nerd. You the nerd.
No!
Yeah.
You're a nerd. You're a freaking nerd.
Right now, but I'm gonna go home to meet my brother Luke to consult on a fun new project we've been talking about. I wanted a very specific kind of bookshelf in my living room, and I couldn't find anything. It's not that complicated of a design, but I couldn't find anything that matched what I was picturing online. Like even no matter how much money I was willing to throw at it, I couldn't find anything. It was very strange. So I turned to my brother, and ultimately I would much rather give my money to my brother than to freaking West Elm. Anyway, everything he does, he makes really beautiful. So I'm really excited. I think he made a prototype. He's gonna come over to test out like the sizing and everything. Well.
Oh my god! I was watching bad TikToks. It's like blonde or brunette, so it would be like...
Blonde or brunette?
Yeah, it's just nonsense.
Do you want to come inside?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So, Luke.
Sorry, I just have it. I'm trying to get followers.
Okay, aside from that, all my books right now are piled up. They used to be on my windows, and that was annoying me. So, literally the only place I could put bookshelves are right here. But I kind of want to preserve the symmetry of like over here. I have this, I'm only using like this space visually. Like I like preserving the margin. They're gonna be small, and because they're small, I don't want the books falling off, so I wanted to do like a built-in bookend. So I wanted basically like, it's like a U-shaped bookshelf, and I couldn't find anything like that online.
Really?
I'm like, why haven't, that doesn't seem so crazy to have like a
simple.
bookshelf that has a
Yeah.
built-in bookend so the books don't fall off. You got a prototype to show me?
I do have type.
Okay, show me the prototype. This is not the final. It's gonna be real pretty, but this is just a prototype for size. Yes, I love that. So wait, show it to the camera. Excuse me, excuse me. I'm also thinking about what it will look like from this angle, and I don't like seeing just a huge block here. So I'm wondering if we could like hollow out a piece or something decorative. So it's like decorative, but you can still see through it, but it'll still keep books up.
You like want corners here? You don't want it to like come down each way or like...
It could, you're right, it could. That's cute. I guess it doesn't have to even be that high. No, it doesn't. Why am I so dumb?
This is why we prototype. This is why we prototype.
This is why we prototype. When you have a bookend, they were usually like that tall anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm not a big book guy.
You're not a big bookend. I know this is more labor, which obviously I will pay for. But I think it could be cool to like slightly round these corners.
Yes, queen.
I'm excited.
Me too. I'm not filming any of this.
Here, I'll film for you. Okay, show me what you're working with.
Shelf. Prototype. You guys know what this is.
Yeah, this is all gonna be on Luke's channel as well though. If you wanna watch the maker's process. You can see his wood shop and him hanging out with his dog and being silly and reflecting on life.
I'm excited to get into this walnut.
The walnut.
It'll be really cute.
Nut. Nut. Wait, no, I wasn't ready. Okay, breathe in, breathe out.
No.
Oh, that's good. Ready? Wow, that was good.
That was a good one.
Should I do another one?
No, that was good.
No. Oh, that was really nice.
I love Caroline. She's my favorite. I love you too. Be sweet.
You be sweet. Oh, I'm so excited.
Me too.
There's no rush, so prioritize your other job.
That's it. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Dressed like a fucking bum.
And you said I'm Dr.
I was like,
Winkler.
hi, nice to meet you, Dr. Winkler. And she didn't bat an eye.
Let me see the magazine.
Let's Pokemon magazine.
Wow.
Wow.
They were selling it in Whole Foods. What is it even talking about?
Just like the original Game Boy and like in the beginning, like it started in Japan. And they just got like a bunch of cool artworks, like a bunch of different Pikachus.
We saw the Pokemon movie. It was so boring.
Did we really? I don't even remember.
We saw it. I was like, is there any plot to this damn thing? It was horrible.
Luki, do you want a little Nochino?
Those Star Wars prints, I think, are the coolest thing.
Yeah, they're
that
awesome.
artwork, and it's very.
Yeah, it's just easy to do, and it's harmless, and it lifts somebody else's spirits up a little bit.
So you want to watch a show? What does that mean? What kind of show?
We can watch like a strip tease, like a strippers.
Luke says we could watch a strip
There's a
tease.
show. We watch a magic show.
You watch a magic show.
Okay.
What you've done is out of the truck. Alcohol. And it just makes me there.
Hi, baby loves. I'm in sweatpants once again. I'm having a pretty busy filming day. I just filmed, a really fun video. Hold on, let me set this up. I can only do freaking one thing at a time. Okay, that's nothing, hold on. I just filmed a video. It's probably called How to Make Your Small Space Luxurious, How to Make Your Home Luxurious. And now I'm filming this vlog, and then shortly, I'm gonna be recording the podcast. The podcast is really my baby right now. The podcast is so much fun. Yeah, co-hosting a podcast with a friend has been such like an amazing, beautiful challenge and like I think needed area of growth for me. It's so different from YouTube where I control everything. I make all the decisions. This is gonna drive me crazy if that's crooked. Don't do that. I don't need that today. But obviously sharing a business with somebody is all this collaboration. And I think we've learned so much about each other's work styles and communication styles, and I'm really proud of where we are together. One thing that I know is really hard for me, this is a real flaw, this is not cute. I can be a big interrupter sometimes, and I'm trying really hard to work on it, and I'm trying to think about why that's a problem for me. I think it's often anxiety that like I'm gonna forget. If I actually thought of something interesting to say, I have such a scattered brain, I'm worried about like forgetting it. But there's also always this fear that like I'm not gonna have explained myself properly, or someone will have a bad reaction to something I've said. It's because it's not edited the way that a video, like my vlogs are pretty edited, it's very controlled, but the podcast is like we have a conversation and what's in the conversation basically goes out to listeners. And I'm always afraid that I'll be misunderstood, which, you know, might happen because that's life. But sometimes I think I have this compulsion. I'm like, wait, I have to finish saying and explaining and this and that. It's very personal. It's much more personal on the podcast. It's like the stuff you talk about in therapy. It's like dating, it's insecurities, work struggles, friend challenges. So that's something I'm working on. I'll say that's something I'm not great at. I can be an interrupter. When I do it, I try to catch myself and like pass it over to the person and be like, oh, I interrupted you, I apologize. Come with me to eat my sandwich. My apartment's kind of a mess right now because this corkboard from my dating video is stuck on the wall, dog. It would not come off. Kind of mad about that, y'all. Pretty pissed about that. Can this go down? Now that I've kind of built YouTube to a place that feels like really fulfilling, it is like kind of what I want it to be. It supports me financially. It supports my creative outlets. There's not so much more building to be done. It's kind of more like maintenance, and I've really missed the thrill and fear and scariness and challenge and difficulty of building something new. So the podcast is that, and I feel like the podcast could like overshadow my YouTube channel. I feel like the podcast in a few years could be a much bigger deal than my YouTube channel. I don't think I've ever shared that publicly. I could be wrong, but I just have this feeling that like the podcast is kind of my future. That is not to say that I would ever end YouTube. I don't want to ever stop YouTube. I love YouTube so much. They're just like different things. This is to absorb the sound. Hello, welcome back to Not For Everyone, the podcast.
This is T. I'm being real with this, but I know everyone experiences it.
This is aging, this is dying, this is part of us dying.
I never want to make social plans on Fridays anymore because I am just dead at the end of the week.
And it's that very fear, that very need for everyone to like me that keeps me and any people pleaser you know in a people pleasing behavior, because the greatest threat on earth would be that a stranger you barely know and isn't really involved in your life might not like you as much as they could. Oh my God, call the police. It's like, yeah, that might be the thing you give up. That's the whole reason you've been stuck in an exhausting cycle.
I mean, that is the most relatable thing ever. Thing that keeps us in those dynamics is wanting to be liked.
Sometimes I feel these moments where I'm like, ooh, this is the early days. This is the early days. This is like the beginning of the movie of this part of my life. You know what I mean? And I try and take a snapshot of it, like before things are different, or before things radically change.
there's thrill in like achieving a goal and building your business the way that you want, or building your family the way you want, or your future, or your job, or your career, or whatever. But there's also a real thrill in like looking back to the early days at the younger version of you who like didn't know everything that was gonna come. And so I try sometimes to like see those moments while they're happening, see them while I'm in it, romanticize them, not in retrospect, but in the moment, in the present. Because I think it's a shame they're only romanticized in retrospect. But those are usually like the hard moments, the dirty, messy, kind of murky, unsure moments. They're so romantic in retrospect. And I try and like get in touch with that and enjoy it in the moment when I'm living it. It's important to be delusional. It's just fun. And sometimes you end up being right. So if you feel delusional about something, could be fun.
So can we skip to the good part?